Marjorie Taylor Greene is the female Donald Trump, like Maxine Waters is the female James Brown.
House Republicans are perpetrating the big lie. They're assaulting verbally our members, and they refuse to try to work collaboratively to get things done on behalf of the American people.
What, raise taxes on our behalf? Where in the hell is these new Green Jobs Act anyway?
You mentioned a verbal assault. I'm assuming you're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If we was talking about a physical assault, we'll be talking about my baby mama ugly ass.
So can you tell me about why you think it is so important to ask Representative Alexandria Cortez for a debate?
Because AOC talk too fucking much.
She better show up. If she chickens out, then she shows exactly who she really is.
A waitress?
A scared little girl that is pretty stupid and doesn't know anything.
I could agree with that analogy too, because AOC really don't know shit.
About the economy or economics.
Or how to keep her damn mouth shut.
And she says that she feels threatened by it.
Threatened by a debate? How?
Is Marjorie Taylor Greene a threat to her congressional colleagues?
What is she gonna do? Murder her in a debate? We all know Marjorie Taylor Greene will destroy Alexandria Cortez. That's why Marjorie Taylor is on AOC ass.
Asking her to defend some of these policies that she supports, like the Green New Deal.
Now, why would Alexandria Cortez want to talk about that?
So she feels threatened to be able to discuss the policy of the Green New Deal. Is that what she's saying?
That sounds about right.
This just all seems mean-spirited. What is her goal?
To prove Alexandria Cortez is a dumbass.
Since I have been a member of Congress, I have been kicked off of my committees by the Democrats when there were no ethics violations against me.
Because you are a real patriot.
You know what else happened? Representative Cori Bush attacked me in the tunnel, screaming at me. Screaming.
Who? Miss Birthing people?
I am committed to doing the absolute most to protect Black mothers, to protect Black babies, to protect Black birthing people, and to save lives.
That's why your ass was in the Congress hallway screaming about a damn mask.
You know what? Yeah, don't yell at people. You know what? You shouldn't bring COVID positive members in here, spreading COVID everywhere. Stop being a hypocrite. Yeah, this is how it is here now.
Since the Democrats got the power, they want to control everything.
I never said a word to her. She goes by screaming at me to put on a mask.
You should have told that bitch to take her wig off.
I wanted it to be on her live stream that we are saying, put your mask on. And then her team turned around, and her too, but then her team is yelling, stop inciting violence with Black Lives Matter. What does Black Lives Matter have to do with this? Put on a mask and save lives.
Well, tell them niggas in Chicago to put down the guns and save lives. And why don't you take off your wig and put on a Maxine Water wig? Show support to Maxine Water wigs. Wigs for Maxine Waters.
That's a verbal assault. You want to know what else happened? The delegate from Guam marches the National Guard on my office.
Ain't that an insurrection?
Off the day. Hey, how's it going? I have my congressman from Guam here. Wanted to pay a visit. Is the representative?
Is that some type of intimidation?
Can you imagine? On a woman's office, a female member of Congress, I had over 30 National Guard marched on my office by the delegate of Guam. Thank God I wasn't in there.
Who knows what would have happened, because them National Guards from Guam didn't look too happy.
So guys, Congresswoman Greene will be probably coming back in 20 minutes. We'll probably circle back. This is Taylor, her legislative director. She just wanted to come on say hi.
Hi guys. Next! But we didn't really come for you. We came for her.
What else happened? Marie Newman, that's across the hall from me. She shoulder checked me right there inside in front of the Capitol Police yesterday.
She probably mad because you told the truth about her daughter or her son or whatever the hell it is.
Greene also posted that anti-transgender sign outside her office, which is located just across the hall from a congresswoman whose daughter is transgender.
I would say a mean-spirited joke right now, but the transgender cops are probably watching this show.
Here's a look at Greene's Twitter page. She had tweeted referring to Newman's 20-year-old transgender daughter as her biological son.
Was she telling the truth? Because now he's her unofficial daughter.
And she went by, hit my shoulder, and said, "Excuse me."
Excuse me, bitch? I throat punched that bitch. I knocked her ass down.
She said nothing back, kept going out the door.
Because she didn't want that problem.
Greene then posted this video of her putting a sign up that reads, "There are two genders, male and female. Trust the science."
Or trust God, who only made Adam and Eve. I don't think Tony was in the Garden of Eden.
That's a physical assault. Today, Eric Swalwell, walking in here, my staffer nicely says to him, "Congressman, you don't have to wear your mask anymore," because of what Biden said yesterday. He chases my staffer inside, everybody saw it, and gets in his face, curses at him, saying, "You don't tell me what to do."
But Fang tell your ass what to do.
Well, I was leaving the House floor. You're still required to wear a mask on the House floor. And frankly, Jim, I just forgot to take my mask off once I came out of the building. I love having my mask off now.
And your ass is mad that Fang is out the country now.
Greene's aide said, "Take your mask off, Congressman." And I kept walking past, and I thought, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. These marauding goons who are going around trying to bully my other colleagues. So I just went up to him and asked him who he was, and I told him, "Don't tell me what to do," with some words that you can't say on CNN, and predictably, he went speechless.
Well, what word did you use if you can use shit on CNN, but you can't use the other word? That word must have been really horrible.
I just can't imagine a colleague treating anyone around here like that, right?
Wrong. CNN is fake news, which means y'all are probably fake friends.
The Democrats are the party of aggression and violence. We have AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, publicly and on their social media and speaking on the House floor, supporting Hamas.
What the hell is that, a chapter of Black Lives Matter? Because I know AOC ain't taking up for terrorists over America.
Visiting my family on the island of Vieques and communities on the island of Vieques, where the United States bombed its own territories.
Bitch, so did Black Lives Matter. Next!
Terrorists who are attacking Israel with rocket fire after rocket fire, and they're supporting the terrorists.
From every damn country, including ours, because AOC say America is the terrorist.
And I would go to sleep as a little girl to the sound of U.S. bombs detonating. Practice is what it was called at the time, practice.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
I think Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to practice putting a foot in AOC ass.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, who was confronted and harassed yesterday by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Alexandria Cortez is always getting harassed by somebody.
We saw Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez walk off the floor and just seconds after heard Marjorie Taylor Greene start to call out her name.
She should have told her, if you don't like the country, you can fucking leave.
Ocasio-Cortez walked out of the chamber very calmly, quietly, and chasing after her was Congresswoman Taylor Greene, who falsely accused her of supporting terrorists.
Falsely my ass. That's a fact.
Ocasio-Cortez did not stop, which prompted Greene to pick up her pace and just start peppering her with questions, really shouting across the hall.
AOC shouldn't be such a scary little hoe.
They're also supporting Antifa and BLM terrorism all over the country.
And now support the police in America.
This is not the first incident, and she is clearly intentionally trying to lure Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez into some kind of conflict.
According to the Democrats, Marjorie Taylor Greene assaulted Alexandria Cortez, but all she wanted to do is talk.
All right, we're going to visit Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Crazy eyes.
Or donkey face.
You know what, I'm always surprised, I guess I shouldn't be, that she wanted to share that video. that she wanted people to see her shouting at a member of Congress or speaking to her through a mail slot.
Because Alexandria Cortez wouldn't come out and talk like a grown-ass woman or a grown-ass liberal in Congress.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I'm an American citizen. I pay your salary through the taxes that you collect from me through the IRS because I'm a tax-paying citizen of the United States.
So she has the right to talk to you because last time I checked, you're supposed to represent America.
I mean, to yell, talking through the mail slot and calling somebody childish, sophomoric names.
If it was a game, Alexandria Cortez wasn't playing because she couldn't come outside to play.
So you need to stop being a baby and stop locking your door and come out and face the American citizens that you serve. If you want to be a big girl, you need to get rid of your diaper and come out and be able to talk to the American citizens instead of us having to use a flap, a little flap.
It's kind of like hers. It's kind
Sad.
I'm sorry, but AOC can't come out to play right now. She's under Congress arrest.
I've never seen this. You know, one member of Congress seeming to stalk, frankly, another member of Congress.
Fake news making Marjorie Taylor Greene sound like Jason off of Friday the 13th.
Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez has shown tremendous restraint and should be commended in that regard because it appears that the so-called Congresswoman from Georgia is stalking her.
Like a lion hunting his prey. Alexandria Cortez can dish it, but she sure can't take it.
And then I get harassed by the press every single day about January 6th, and I've said the entire time, literally starting on that day during the riot, how much I'm upset by it, how much I'm against it, and how appalled at it that I am. I was a victim of it as well.
But they say you are the dangerous one. Ain't that a bitch?
Well, she has certainly engaged in threatening behavior. And I think ultimately this is something that may have to be evaluated.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene need a psychiatric evaluation because she's dangerous.
So if we want to talk about assault, if we want to talk about aggressive behavior, we need to be interviewing the Democrats.
Also, if you want to talk about drinking kids' blood, also holler at the Democrats. And why in the hell you think she's doing this anyway?
Again, this is stalking, it appears to me. And at some point, there's got to be some consequences and accountability.
Why? Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to AOC asking for a debate. What in the hell do you think she want to do with AOC?
To raise money, to have notoriety, to be the go-to person on that wing of the Republican Party.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene only wanted money and power. The same thing y'all accused Donald Trump of wanting. But where is the white racist, white supremacist allegations?
And to be a force to be reckoned with because of the fact that she is using so many of these stunts to raise money, to raise small dollar donations.
Well, I need to raise some small dollar donations, and you can check my Cash App for that.
And AOC should be able to debate her policy because I'm a successful business owner.
And AOC is a successful whore who used to be a waitress.
She's never done that. I know for a fact what socialism will do to our country. The American people know it. The American people want to see a debate about the Green New Deal.
And we also want to see a no-holds-barred wrestling match. But I guess a debate would do.
Which is written into all of these garbage bills that we have to vote on every single day.
And that's what Alexandria Cortez don't want to debate. That's why she's running from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
But she continued to pepper her with these questions until Ocasio-Cortez turned around and threw her hands up in the air in this kind of exasperated and confused face.
Or her America is racist beliefs.
And shouted that Ocasio-Cortez was a coward and that she was failing to defend her radical socialist beliefs.
That's because she can't defend her beliefs. The more she defended, the dumber she sounds.
My colleague Mariana and I, we witnessed her shouting, "Hey, Alexandria," twice over in an effort to get her attention in a very aggressive and confrontational tone.
Did her tone of voice scare you in fake news?
Do you think that a constant confrontation with these members of Congress, which is really something that we really haven't seen in Congress in a very long time, does anything need to change?
Yeah, the Democrats need to stop lying and being pussy.
who, since she has no committee positions, apparently has nothing better to do than stalk around and challenge her colleagues to debate.
Debate about the Green New Deal and not no Mexican pizza and hot dog shit.
She is here to hold members of Congress accountable.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is there to kick ass and take names.
No, you want to know what you haven't seen in a long time? You haven't seen a member of Congress willing to hold people accountable for the actions that they're committing. You see members of Congress, like Democrats, constantly getting away with things. Why don't you ask Nancy Pelosi why she denied 10,000 National Guard troops to be here on January 6th?
That bitch won't answer that.
When after January 5th, there were 2 pipe bombs found at the RNC and the DNC. That's a good question. That's accountability.
But fake news won't hold her accountable for that. But they sure will hold Marjorie Taylor Greene accountable for everything she say.
Oh, it also gave her money.
Because fake news say Marjorie Taylor Greene is only doing this for the money. Well, you need money to fight any damn thing. That's why I'm glad Beth Roberts No, I need donations to keep this channel going and help fight liberal bullshit through conservative comedy. Next!
See, there's nothing wrong with me pushing things out there, asking questions, pushing for debate. That's exactly what I should be doing to represent my district.
And she needs money to do that, like I need money to do this. That's why people like Maisha Greenwood, Miss Black Barbie, donate to my channel.
Yes,
she has raised $3 million in the first quarter of 2021 because she posts this stuff, and there are people who like it.
Well, I need to post that stuff so people can donate to my Cash App. Hell, my birthday is coming up. I want to turn up.
Congresswoman, you've had one conversation with Cortez on the floor that was, from what I understand, relatively civil. What did that entail?
That was me asking her to debate the Green New Deal. And you know what she said? She said, this is where we debate, and the chamber. And she said, and on C-SPAN. And I said, great, we'll debate it in here and I'll set it up.
I wish the UFC could set this up. My money will be on Miss Greene.
That was it. That was basically it. Other than me telling her you've never owned a business before, so you have no idea what your socialist policies are going to do to businesses and to our country.
Nor do she give a fuck.
And then she told me, well, I've launched restaurants. And I said, well, you never owned one.
And you can't run a country like it's a Taco Bell. Next! Why in the hell are the Democrats so scared of Marjorie Taylor Greene?
She's done this with David Hogg as well.
What, expose him for his bullshit?
Then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them. Why are you supporting red flag gun laws that attack our Second Amendment rights?
And you should be the first nigga hollering about more guns.
And you know, I'm glad you brought up the David Hogg thing because we can't forget, this is her modus operandi.
What, scaring the shit out of liberals?
Look, I'm an American citizen. I'm a gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit. I carry a gun for protection for myself, and you are using your lobby and the money behind it and the kids to try to take away my Second Amendment rights.
And you should be using the kids to help her Second Amendment rights.
She chased a teenage Parkland school shooting survivor down the street, screaming at him.
That nigga's a grown-ass man.
How did you get over 30 appointments with senators? How'd you do that? How did you get major press coverage on this issue? And how did you get kids? Why do you use kids? Why kids?
Liberals are scared of Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's a strong conservative woman. And fake news just love talking
about her zeal for open carry laws or concealed carry laws, I can't remember, but guns.
They say women shouldn't have guns, but they better not tell that to my Stormy. They might get a different answer. She stay with hers.
You know, if school zones were protected with security guards with guns, there would be no mass shootings at schools. Do you know that? The best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. But yet you're attacking our Second Amendment.
And you want the bad guys that have guns and the good guys that have Facebook Live. Next!
And he said that it took like every ounce of his sort of Zen mindfulness not to turn around.
And do what? What he was gonna do? Assault a woman?
So I'm walking. He's got nothing to say. Sad. He has nothing to say because there really isn't anything to say, you guys. He has nothing to say because he's paid to do this.
Like fake news say, you are paid to do this, but we glad you are. Somebody got to get paid to do it.
Because she baits people. I mean, she baits people.
And so do my grandmother on Craigslist, so she can rob niggas.
He has the walkaway march. He's got the women's march, and they're funding all of this. Everytown Gun USA, they're funding all this stuff. Okay, that was David Hogue right there. David, we saw him inside the Senate building. He had 30 appointments where he ran around and got to talk to senators. I got to talk to none. He had media coverage all over the place. I had zero.
So he a school shooting celebrity, but conservatives are the bad people.
Using their, trigger words about guns and everything to try to get them into an altercation.
Because they always say conservatives trying to start a fight. Well, some of us are. And the other half won't start them, but they sure in the hell will finish them.
Guess what? I'm a gun owner. I'm an American citizen. And I have nothing, but this guy with his George Soros funding and his major liberal funding has got everything.
And I need some MAGA funding to help keep this channel going. Hit one of the links below.
I want you to think about that. That's where we are. And he's a coward. He can't say one word because he can't defend his stance.
And if I don't get more subscribers on my Patreon, I'm going to be coming up with a defense for the landlord.
And apparently she's doing the same thing now with her colleagues in the House, that they're having to center themselves as they're being shouted at by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And I be getting shouted out at by my ugly ass baby mama, whose son is gonna roast me on my Patreon show for my birthday. Subscribe to my Patreon so you can see it. That's the last commercial break.
Because there is no defense for taking away guns. There is no defense for gun confiscation. Zero. And so there he goes. He just keeps walking with his two ladies that probably work with him.
Maybe his handlers.
And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my Patreon yet, my grandmother is gonna handle you. And that wasn't a commercial break. That was a threat. As a matter of fact, that wasn't a threat. That was a promise. Hit the link below if you're watching this video.